Hey everybody, this is Daniel from fitnessblender.com, and today we've got another 1,000-calorie workout for you. Now this one is going to be comprised of 6 different sections. We've got a warm-up and a cool-down, we've got a HIIT section, we've got a cardio section, we've got an abs section, and we have a strength training section. So each one of these is going to be ranging anywhere from 5 minutes all the way to 25 minutes, and each one's going to be set up just a little bit differently, so I'll tell you about each one as we do it. But for each one of these routines, we're not really going to need any equipment other than for the strength training portion that you're going to need some dumbbells for or some kind of other kind of weighted object to lift. You might also need a mat if you're not doing this on a soft surface like a carpet or something like that. So other than those 2 pieces of equipment, it's just all body weight. And we do have our warm-up to get started with first, so let's go ahead and switch over to that. Alright guys, so for our warm-up we've got about 12 different exercises to go through. We're going to be doing each one for 30 seconds and there's no break in between. So let's go ahead and get started. Start my timer here. Our first exercise is going to be arm circles. So just a nice big circle, trying to stretch that shoulder joint out a little bit. Start nice and slow. So go ahead and start up, bring those hands up in front, cross them over, stretch them back behind you as far as you can go, pause in the front, and then reverse the direction. Make sure as you do this, you have a different hand coming up over top of the other every single time. You want to make sure you're even as you do this. You never want to always lead with one arm over the other or one leg over the other. Just keep those arms going, nice big full circle, keep those lungs open. You've got torso circles next. So lock that torso in with those hips. You're going to go down, around, pause the back, and then back the opposite direction. Down and around, pause the back. Try to really open up those hip sockets as well as getting a little extra round through that torso. So actually leaning back, leaning to the side as you do this. Just keep it going. Go to torso rotations next. So keep that body straight up and down. Just nice and slow, rotating left to right. Again, start with a relatively small range of motion. And then work that range of motion larger and larger with every single repetition. You can also speed it up a little bit more if you want to. Just make sure you're kind of keeping all those muscles contracted. Just start pumping that blood around a little bit. Just keep it going a little bit more. Got leg swings coming up next. Starting with that left leg. Leg's gonna come up in front, reach down towards that toe, kick it back, and then right back up again. Nice, slow, controlled motion again. Nothing out of control. Start working that range of motion, trying to get a little bit further. Try to keep that leg relatively straight. You can have a little bit of a bend in that knee, but you don't want to have a huge bend. Do the same thing on the other side here in just a second. And switch it, same thing on the other side. If you're feeling like you're having a little bit of trouble with balance, just slow the motion down. That should help out quite a bit. Keep those lungs open. Again, trying to get just a little bit further every single time. Got a knee up rotation coming next. So the cross between a torso twist and kind of a high knee motion. Just rotating back and forth. Bring that knee up nice and high. Rotating that elbow, opposite elbow from knee, down across your body. Get a little bit of a crunch to those abdominal muscles and those obliques. Again, keep those lungs open. We're going to start speeding up here in just a second as far as the rest of our exercises go. And we got a push-pull squat next. So arms out. As you squat down nice and low, squeeze them in nice and tight as you come up from that squat. So out, press against yourself, squeeze them in, really working against yourself as you do this. Keep those lungs open, just breathing normally. Nice full deep squat. Work that range of motion, try to wake those legs up a little bit. And into a boxer shuffle or jog in place. Get those feet moving. And let that upper body relax a little bit again. We're moving on to an up and out for this next one. Make those calves have to work a little bit more. Make those legs have to work a little bit more. But this boxer shuffle, this jog in place, is just to start trying to push that blood around a little bit more into those legs, especially but also the rest of your body. Again, keep those lungs open, no holding your breath. All right, up and out. Come out to the side, alternating back and forth. Get that knee up as high as you can, as well as out to the side as much as you can. Trying not to rotate those hips too much. All that should be coming from that hip socket rather than from those hips. Stay up on those toes, nice quick motion. Got sumo circles coming up next. So feet really nice and wide. You're gonna dip off the side, down through the center, up, pause in the center, back around, pause back at the top in the center. Just keep alternating directions. Try to get a really nice, deep, full squat on this. Shift to that full range of motion from left to right. Trying to get as far as you can off on top of that left leg and that right leg. Got an alternating lunge coming up next. Nice and straight and tall, stepping out with one foot. And then same thing on the other leg. Some nice slow fluid motion. Keep that torso straight up and down. Lungs open. The longer a step you take, the more those legs have to work. Just keep it going. The last one's gonna be jumping jacks, just traditional jumping jack. So start up, nice full range of motion with those arms, very slight bend in that elbow. Start relatively slow, and then start speeding it up. Only have about 15 seconds left. Almost done. And let it relax. Go back into that boxer shuffle. We'll be starting into our hip portion of this routine in just a second. All right, so we're gonna be starting into our hip portion here. Keep those feet moving while we're talking about this. We're going to be going through Tabata style, 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off, AB format, where we're doing 3 full sets of each exercise as opposed to 2 like we normally do. So 3 full sets. Once we're done with that, we move on to the next 2 exercises. We'll give you a little extra break in between those groups. But other than that, we're just gonna be running through it pretty quick. So our first group is going to be a squat hold burpee and a plank to push-up. So I'll show you these as we go through them. They're really pretty basic. If you know how to do a burpee, I'm kind of starting with that. That's our first one anyway. So let me go ahead and get my timer started. Drop that down. So first one is a squat hold burpee. A couple more seconds. And start it. So down, come up and freeze that squat position. Back out to that full extension for that burpee. So basically you're just cutting that extension and that jump off of the top. You're just staying down really nice and low. So those legs have to constantly work with you. And we're switching to that plank to push up. So you got a 10-second rest before we jump into that one. This one, start on those elbows. We're moving up into a push-up position. So out to that plank, come up to a full extension, then right back down again. Switch to the other side, whichever the last hand is you bring up, you put that one right back down again. So this way, you're always alternating which hand you start with. All right, back up, back to that boxer shuffle. Going back in to those burpees next. And start it. A little bit of a pause in that squat position. You don't want to move too quickly right back into it. You want to actually make those legs have to work a little bit. And back in that jogging place, re-dropping down to that plank for the next one. Drop down and start it. Remember, whichever arm or whichever hand you bring up last is the first one to go back down. Keep those hips low. Try to let that butt poke up in the air. And back up. We got one more round of each of these. So back over for our third round of burpees. And start up. Keep those lungs open. Try to stay as low as you can for that squat portion. And back to that boxer shuffle. One more exercise for this group. Back to that plank. So we're going to drop it down on those elbows. Start them up. Back up. All right, we're starting into our next group here in just a second. All right, let's go ahead and jump in to our next group. We're going to be doing high knees and a squatted side step for this one. So let me go ahead and start my timer. Set that down. High knees are first. 100% effort. Just a couple more seconds. And start up. Drive those knees up really nice and high, really nice and quick. Barely let that foot touch the ground before you pull it right back up again. A little over halfway. And back to that boxer shuffle. Let it relax. Try to recover as best you can. If you need to just go to standing there to try to recover, that's fine. All right, squatted side step. Down nice and low, off to the side. Shift that weight. Same thing off to the other side. Just make sure you stay nice and low. Nice wide step every single time. And back to that boxer shuffle. Try to recover as best you can. Back to those high knees next. And start it. Nice quick motion. Drive those knees. Try to get those knees at least to hip height. Higher if you can. And back that boxer shuffle. Keep those lungs open. Doing that squatted side step. And drop it. Keep those lungs open. Keep those hips low. Flat back. All right, back to jogging place. That was 2 of each. We got 1 more of each. So last round of those high knees. And start them up. Keep those lungs open. Pump those arms and those legs. And back to that boxer shuffle. Got 1 more round. That squatted side step. And drop it. Try to recover on these slow ones. I know your muscles are still working, but it should be much lower cardio to give you a little extra rest. At least a little bit of an opportunity to recover. Back to that boxer shuffle. We'll be starting into that next group in just a second. All right, guys, let's go ahead and move on to our next group. This one is going to be kick throughs. So down on the ground, kicking one foot through, and double butt kickers. So if you can't do a double butt kicker, you can just do single leg, but try to do both legs at the same time if you can. So let me get this timer started. Back to that boxer shuffle. Kick throughs are first. So starting down in that push-up position, and start up. So same foot as hand gets replaced, the other leg kicks through underneath. Try to get a nice full extension every time you do this. All the way out to that full push-up. And back up. Boxer shuffle, we've got double butt kickers coming up next. And start them up. So try to kick yourself in the butt with both feet. If you need to, you can go to a double hop like this, but if you can, try to keep it constant. And yes, I realize my shoelaces come undone. So try to stay in time. Next one, going back to that kick through. Try to do this as fast as I can. All right, start them up. Just in the nick of time. Keep those lungs open. Back up that boxer shuffle. Double butt kickers coming up next. All right, start up. Like I said, if you can, keep with a single, or double for easier. My legs are starting to burn pretty good. Back to that boxer shuffle. That's 2 of each. Got one more round of each of these. All right, back to those kick throughs. Start them up. Back to that boxer shuffle. One more round of butt kickers. And start up. If those legs are completely dead, you can do a single. But again, try to do double if you can. All right, keep those feet moving. Let's get ready for that next group. All right, okay, let's go and get started with our next group. We have, we're going through jumping lunges first. You guys really have fun with that one. And seal push-ups. So let me go ahead and start my timer. Jumping lunges are number 1. Just keep those feet moving. And start it. Split those feet down into a regular lunge. Down as low as is comfortable. Hop it straight up. Switch those feet. Right back down again. Keep those lungs open. Keep that chest straight up and down. Almost done. Back to that boxer shuffle. Next one is going to be that seal push-up. So down on the ground for this one. And drop it down. Starting with those hips up nice and high. Dip through those hands. Arch it up. Almost like a cobra. Then press it right back up. Try to skim the ground as close as you can. Back up. His feet moving. Back to that jumping lunge. And start it. Nice fluid jump. Nice full depth on both of those legs. Make sure you're trying to evenly disperse your weight between your front and rear leg. All right, back that boxer shuffle. Second round of that seal push-up. All right. Scoop it down, press up, and back up. So this is great for all the way through the chest, as well as those shoulders. Back up to jog in place. Got one more round of each. Starting back in with those jumping lunges. Keep those lungs open. Go to your happy place. Finish them up clean. Shake those legs out. One more round of that seal push-up. And start it. All right, back up for that boxer shuffle. Let's get ready for that next group. All right, everybody, our next group is going to be traditional burpees. And with that, we're going to be doing a traditional jumping jack. So burpees first. Get my timer started. So nice full extension with a jump at the top. And start it. Jump at the top, back out to that full plank, full push-up position, and right back up. Try to keep them relatively quick, as long as you can do it with clean form. All right, back to that jogging place. All right, jumping jacks next. Nice full extension on that arm, slight bend in that elbow. Keep everything tight. Start up. Like I said, keep everything nice and tight. Don't let those arms or legs ever flail around. You want to constantly be under control. And back to that jog in place. Next, back to those burpees. And start it. Depending on how hard you want to work on these, you can do a little jump like I'm doing, or you can do a 100% explosion to try to really tire those legs out. Got a lot more to go though, so don't kill yourself too much. All right, back to those jumping jacks. Try to recover as best you can while doing these exercises. So nice, full deep breaths. And back to that jog in place. Got one more round of both of these. Back to those burpees. And start it. One more round of those jumping jacks. Go to that happy place. And start it. Nice full extension on that arm. Very, very slight bend in that elbow. Almost done. And let it relax. All right, let's get ready for that next one. All right, this is our third to last group. We only have 2 more after this. So let's go ahead and get this one done. We're doing jump squats. Gotta love those. And then we're gonna couple that along with a standing oblique crunch, a little bit easier one. So let me go ahead and get my timer started. Jump squats are first. As much effort as you have left to push into it. And start up. Nice full range of motion. Recoil all the way down to the bottom. Make sure you land as soft as you can. No hard landings. Back to that jog in place. Standing oblique crunches next. So hands back up behind your head. Start with those feet just about shoulder width apart. Knee comes up, elbow comes down, rock, then back to the other side. If you want to speed it up just a little bit, that's fine. Just get a nice tight squeeze with a nice high knee raise on each side. Back to that jog in place. All right, back to those jump squats for our next one. Lungs open. And start it. Like I said, nice soft landing. Keep those lungs open, flat back. Just like you were doing a squat with weight above your shoulders. Clean form every single time. Back to that jog in place. Standing oblique crunch. Hands behind your head, feet shoulder width apart, and start it. Whoops, lose my balance there a little bit. Nice tight squeeze. Get that elbow to that knee. If you can, get it even past. Back to that boxer shuffle, a jog in place. All right, one more of each of those. Jump squats first. And start them. Your last round of these. Keep pushing through it the entire time. No stopping, no breaks. We're already over halfway with this set. Oh. All right, one more. That standing oblique crunch. And start up. Nice tight squeeze. Like I said, if you can, get that elbow back behind that knee. Get that knee up past that elbow. Just keep it going. Oh, back to that boxer shuffle. 2 more sets to go, or 2 more groups to go, I mean. Let's get ready for that next one. All right, second to last group here. This one is going to be mountain climbers and walk downs. You can do just a traditional walk down or walk down with a push up, whichever one you prefer. So let's go ahead and get it started. Mountain climbers first. So down in that push up position. And start it. Move those feet nice and quick. Keep those hips nice and low. You can feel this. That quadricep, the front of that thigh, and the front of that hip, as well as those abs and shoulders. Back up. All right, next one's gonna be a walk down or walk down push up. Feet just about hip width apart. And start it. So straight down to a toe touch. Walk out with those hands. Full plank. Right back up again. Like I said, if you want to, you can do a walk down with a push-up, which is basically the same thing, except you pause at the bottom, push up, and come back up. Let's try to get one more in here. Back up. Jogging in place. Mountain climbers. Back down. And start them. Keep those lungs open. Keep pushing through it with as much energy as you have left. Back up. Get those feet moving. Walk downs are next. Hip, shoulder, feet, shoulder width apart, or hip width apart. Walk out, walk right back up. For the easier version, push up the bottom for the harder. All right, back up. A jog in place. One more set of each. Mountain climbers first. Start them up. Keep those hips low. Drive those knees. Keep those lungs open. Keep those feet moving. Back up. One more round of those walk downs. Start up. One more. Back that jogging place. We have one more group to go. Start up in just a second. All right, guys, this is our last round, our last group for this portion. So I've saved the best for last. We've got a full star jump, woohoo! And we're also going to be doing a plank knee up. So this is a push-up knee up. So you're starting a push-up position, bring one knee up out to the side. So we start my timer. Star jumps are first, because you always want to get the worst one over with first. All right, start them up. Nice tight squeeze the bottom, explode up the top. Keep those lungs open. And a boxer shuffle. All right, plank the knee up. So down in that full position, or full push-up position. Push up if you want, otherwise just a plank. Just be down, the knee comes up out to the side. Same thing on the other side. If you give out on those push-ups, which is what I'm about to do, you just bring that knee up and out to the side. Back up for that boxer shuffle. Star jumps again. 3, 2, 1. Nice and tight. Pop up at the top. Lungs open. Let it relax. Whew. Plank knee up. Skipping the push-up on this one this time. So down to that plank. Knee up and out to the side. If you want to add that push-up in, go for it. I'm getting too tired. My form was starting to suffer. Keep those hips low. One more of each. So close to being done with this. Start up. I know those legs are starting to give out on you. Lungs are probably burning. Just keep going through it. This is our last round of these. You get a nice long break after this. Oh. All right, last exercise for this one. Plank knee up. Down that plank. Drop those hips. Knee up and out to the side. Keep those lungs open, no holding that breath. Oh. All right, jog in place if you can, just a little bit longer. This is our last one. So that means we get a nice long break here. Grab a drink of water if you want one, hit pause if you need a extra rest. Otherwise, we'll be starting into that next group, or next section, here in just a second. All right, everybody, our next section is going to be focused just on the core. So we're hitting those abs, obliques, and lower back. We've got 10 different exercises to run through. Each one we're going to be doing for 50 seconds on with a 10-second break. A 10-second break is also going to be the amount of time you have to move to the next exercise as well. So we're moving through this pretty quick. Now, if you don't have an exercise mat, then you want to at least be on carpet or a blanket or something like that for a little bit of protection as far as that back goes. If you're doing this on a hard surface, you're definitely going to want an exercise mat or some kind of cushion. So let me get my timer started here. Our first one is going to be just a traditional crunch. So lay flat on your back, knees about a 90-degree angle, hands back behind your head, and start out, crunch up nice and high, slowly back down, try to keep those shoulder blades hovering just a smidge, and right back up again. So don't let those abdominal muscles completely release. Nice and tight, up towards the top, slowly back down. Remember, those hands are just back behind your head. You're not actually pulling on your neck or your head. To get the most out of this, you want to keep those elbows back out of your field of vision. And you want a nice, slow, controlled crunch up as high and as tight as you possibly can, and slowly back down. So from all those exercises you're doing through that hip portion just a second ago, you're probably going to notice that you have a little bit of a tremble through those abdominal muscles. That's completely normal. Just keep pushing through it. Almost done. The next one's gonna be a back bow, so we're gonna be flipping back over onto your stomach. So switch over nice and quick. Arms and legs out to a full extension. And you're lifting your arms and your legs simultaneously. Nice deep breath in. And exhale, squeeze it up. Inhale, slowly down, a little bit of a hover if you can. Exhale, right back up. Just keep that motion under control. Keep those arms and legs extend out nice and straight. If it starts getting too hard on you, you can always tuck those elbows back to your sides, hands just outside that shoulder width, or bring them all the way back onto that lower back. Actually cross over that lower back. Nice slow squeeze. No quick jerking motions. Almost done. And flip back over. I got a side oblique crunch next, so out flat on your left side to start out with. Other hand up on top of that hip. You're gonna crunch up and off to the side. Squeeze those legs up as you crunch down towards those feet. Try to reach kind of back behind those legs to keep those hips rolled forward as much as possible. You want to really focus on just that top oblique, base of your rib cage to the crest of that hip. All your weight should be in your waist, not your hip. So if you feel like you're coming up onto your hip, lean back onto that waist just a little bit more. Keep those lungs open. Nice full range of motion every single time. Like I said, try to keep those hips tilted forward slightly. Leaning onto a hand in front for support. Just keep it going. Doing the same thing on the opposite side here. in just a second. And switch sides. So I flip around here. So same exact motion. Just on the opposite side. So again, focusing crest to hip to base that rib cage. Squeeze it up. Keep all that weight back into your waist, not on your hip. Just keep it going. Keep those lungs open. Don't hold your breath. Try to keep that oblique contracted the entire time. Don't let it release. A little bit of hover with those legs, a little bit of hover with that shoulder. Just a few more seconds to go. 5 left. And let it relax. We've got knee tuck crunches next. So sitting on that tailbone, sitting up just slightly, hands back behind those hips just a little bit for support. Kick those legs out, crunch them in nice and tight, extend back out. If you want the harder version, bring those hands up, crunch forward, grounding that back, lean back, flatten that back out as much as you can. Trying to have balance on that tailbone. Just keep it going. You've got a shell back extension coming up next. So you're going to be flipping over onto your knees here in just a few seconds. Just keep it going. Drop those hands down if you need for a little extra help. Let it relax. Flip over onto those knees. Hands out, full extension. Weight back in those hips. Lift those arms up. Flatten that back, arch up nice and high, and then round it forward. It is a really awkward feeling exercise, but it focuses on that lower back really well. Just keep it going. Now, unless your back is really nice and strong, you're probably burning like crazy. Just keep trying to push through it with nice, clean form. We're doing windshield wipers next, so back over onto your back. So flip back over. I'm going to be doing these with a bent knee. If you want the hardest version, extend those arms and legs out to a full extension. So tabletop or 90 degree on that knee, rock it to the left, then back again, over to the right. The further you extend those legs out, the harder it's going to be. Just keep alternating back and forth. Try to keep those shoulders flat against the ground. Only rotate as far as you can while still keeping those shoulder blades plastered against that mat. Got a toe touch crunch coming up next. Keep those lungs open. And let it relax. Got a 10-second break. Like I said, toe touch crunch is next. So bring those legs straight up over top of those hips. And crunch it up. Try to keep those quadriceps, front of that thigh contracted nice and tight. Keep that leg as straight as possible. So not only working those abdominal muscles, but actually stretching those hamstrings at the same time to put extra tension on those abdominals. If your neck starts to bother you with any of these where you're doing a crunch with that head hovering, just one hand back behind your head for a little bit of support is perfectly fine. Just make sure you alternate which side you support with from time to time. Ideally, You don't have any support, you're making that neck do all the work by itself. Now Russian twist next. Come back up onto that tailbone. Oh, nice flat back. Kick those feet out as far as you need to for counterbalance. Hands up in front of you. Rotate left to right. Ooh, should be feeling this not only in your abs, but in your quadriceps and your hip flexors as well. They're having to do a lot of work to keep you balanced on that tailbone. Ouch. Take a short little break if you need to. Right back into it as quick as you can. Shouldn't take much to give you a little bit of reprieve from that burn. The further you lean back, the harder it's going to be. Keep that back nice and flat. Oh man, that burns. Woo. Our last one is going to be a traditional plank. Oh, whew. Flip it over. Flat down in your stomach. Elbows directly underneath that shoulder joint. Bring those hips up and hold. Keep those hips nice and low. Straight line from shoulder down to ankle. If you have to, drop down onto those knees. Do your plank from there, but hold out on those toes as long as you can. Just go to that happy place. Keep those lungs open. Don't hold your breath. You're going to want to, but don't do it. Whew, man, we're almost done. It's 10 seconds left. And let it relax. Oh my gosh, that gets a good burn going. All right, that is the end of our core portion. So we'll give you another quick little break. I'll move right into the next portion in just a second. All right guys, for this next section, we're going to be focusing on just strictly upper body strength. Since the rest of the stuff we've been working on, core and HIIT was mainly legs, we want to get those arms in there as well. This is going to be a traditional strength training routine. We're doing around 10 repetitions of each exercise. We're going to be doing 3 sets of each, but we're doing it superset style. So we're going to be moving through this really, really quickly, doing antagonistic muscles or opposite muscle groups. So our first group, for example, is going to be a chest press and a bent over row. So a push and a pull motion. I have a bench here and I've got dumbbells here, but you don't necessarily have to use either one of these. Most of these exercises you can either do standing or laying flat on the ground. You don't necessarily have to have a bench for it. As far as the dumbbells go, you can always use some other kind of weighted object if you have it. A jug of milk would be enough for a lot of these exercises. So don't worry about it if you don't have a really broad range of dumbbells to choose from. Just use what you have. All right, so our first exercises, like I said, is going to be a chest press and a bent over row. So I'm going to go ahead and select the weight I need for that one, which is already selected for me. I'm just going to pop these up onto my legs, flip around here, lay back for my chest press. So arms straight up above that chest, nice and slow down out to the side. Keep that hand right above that elbow and right back up. Keep those lungs open. Concentrate on that form. Go as low as is comfortable on that shoulder. If you feel like you have to limit that range of motion, you might need a little bit less weight next time. Two more. And then we're going to switch off to that row. Let me drop my weight here a little bit. So So dropping down to about 30 pounds. Now this is just not even a suggestion of the amount of weight you should use. This is just what I'm using, so it's just a little bit of a marker to give you an idea of the differences between the different motions. So I'm doing a bent over row for this next one. So nice flat back, squeeze up and back. Keep that back perfectly flat. Almost done. And drop it back down. Going right back into that chest press. I'm going to use a little bit less weight this time than I did the time before. Flat out on that back again. Arms right above that chest. And start it nice and slow down. Keep those lungs open. Just over halfway. And let it relax. Drop that weight again. I'm going to stay. Same thing I used last time. Getting back to about 30 pounds or so. Nice close stance with those feet. Flat back and row it up. And let her drop. Got one more set of each. I'm going to try 45 pounds one more time. So that chest press is probably a little bit nasty towards the end. But we're trying to do strength, trying to rip that muscle fiber a little bit, so really challenge yourself. All right. Start them up. It's halfway. Whew, almost done. Two more. Try to keep them clean. Last one. Wow. Whew. All right. So those muscles gave out on me, which is actually a sign that I was exactly the right weight. That last repetition, just couldn't get it done. So that's definitely going to be one that I feel tomorrow. So let's drop it back down again. Last round of those rows. All right, feet nice and close together. Back flat. Start them up. Two more. All right, so those are our first two. Give yourself a little bit of a break. We're gonna move on to the next set here in just a second, our next group. So for this next two, we're going to be doing an overhead press, so a shoulder press, and a pullover. So since we don't have a lat machine here, pullover is the next best thing. So for my overhead press, since my arms are really nice and tired from the rest of the routine we've done so far today, I'm gonna go a little bit lighter than I normally would. So I'm gonna drop it down nice and low here. Same thing on the other side. I'm gonna grab that weight. Nice flat back, don't arch back or round forward. Try to keep that spine as neutral as you can. Bring those hands up to the outside of that shoulder. Press straight up over your head. I can already tell my muscles are probably gonna start trying to give out on me. There's just not much left after doing that HIIT routine to begin with. But that's the intention of this routine, to just keep pushing yourself as hard as you can, really tiring yourself out to get that full 1,000 calories in. There's 2 more to go. Ouch. Let that one relax. So we're doing pullovers next. I'm actually going to use the same amount of weight, but like I said, we're doing a pullover this time, so laying flat on your back. So I'm going to twist around here. Start with those hands straight up in front, or straight over top of your shoulder. Both hands drop straight behind you as far as you can go comfortably, and right back up, stopping right above that shoulder joint. You can either do this with those palms facing in towards each other or down towards those feet. Try to keep that lower back on the ground as best you can on that mat. One more. And let that relax. All right, that's the first set of both of those. So, short little break here. Right back in to that shoulder press. Jelly tooth, to keep that form clean, I think I'm gonna drop one more time. Drop that weight just a little bit more. I've got my extra slugs in here, so these things are actually still 10 pounds a piece, which sounds light, but after everything else we've done, this actually feels really heavy. So start it up, slowly down. Nice neutral spine. Keep those abs contracted to help keep that neutral spine. Lungs open. Go to that happy place. Just focus on that form. Two more. Ouch. Whew. That is a serious amount of burn. Okay. I'm gonna use the same thing, that pullover. So flip around again. Flat on your back. Palms either facing in towards each other or down towards those toes. And start up. Just focus on that form. Keep those arms nice and straight. Keep it going. 2 more. Last one. Ooh, all right. Turn back around for that shoulder press. For the last set of both of these exercises. All right, set that back, nice flat back, nice neutral spine. Hands come up, and start it over your head, nice and slow down, low as is comfortable, right back up. You want to try to keep that wrist right above that shoulder, or sorry, right above that elbow. If you feel like your hand is coming too close in or too far out, you're gonna feel it in your bicep and tricep more. You want to isolate that shoulder as much as you can by keeping that wrist right above that elbow. Ouch. Whew. And that is a good burn. All right, that's only halfway through. I'm going to try to squeeze through these last 5 here. 2 more. Whoa, ouch. Whew. Let that relax for just a second. Got that last round of pullovers next. Let's flip around. Lay back. Hands right above those shoulders. And start it. Down nice and low. Keep that back as close to the mat as you can, or as close to that bench as you can. Like I said, you can either have those hand palms facing in, palms facing down towards those toes. It's just gonna alternate or alter how much that tricep has to work. Almost done. Last one. Ouch. All right. Set these down for a second. Let those arms relax and rest for just a moment. We have one more group to go through for this strength portion, which is going to be bicep and tricep. Now we've hit that bicep and tricep with the other exercises we've done for this, this section, but they're just in kind of a supporting role. So this time we're just going to focus on them 100%, try to just burn the heck out of them. So we're going to start off with that tricep first. We're just going to do this one arm at a time. So I'm going to try to do this with those extra slugs still in there. I'll probably be kicking them out here pretty soon. So 10 repetitions each side. Nice neutral spine. It's halfway. Oh, whew. 2 more. You can tell my form is starting to slide on this. This burns like crazy. A little help if you need it. Ouch. Oh man. That burns. So same thing on the other side. And since we did full 10 repetitions with the same weight, you gotta match it with that other arm, no matter how it feels. So get that arm up there. Start it in. 10 repetitions. Those lungs open. Just go to that happy place, focus on that form. Oh. Ouch. Oh man, that burns. All right, drop that down. We've got Bicep curls coming up next. So nothing too fancy with this. I'm going to do this seated. You can do it standing if you want to. Form is exactly the same. Just keep that back really nice and straight. Keep that elbow right underneath that shoulder the entire time. Don't let those elbows curl forward or kick back. All right. It's a nice, slow, controlled motion. Squeeze it up. Tight squeeze to that shoulder, but again, don't let that elbow kick forward. Halfway through. Nice, slow, controlled motion. There's 2 more. And let it relax. Drop those back down. All right. Unfortunately, that was just 1 set of each of those. We got 2 more sets of each of those to go. So I'm gonna have to drop my weight a little bit on these guys. I'm just gonna take my slugs out. It's dropping an extra 10 pounds off. So all I have is 5 pounds left in this thing, which doesn't sound like a lot again, but those arms are toast. And form is more important than the amount of weight you lift. So let's get them going. 10 repetitions. Nice clean form. Back straight up and down, neutral spine. Keep that shoulder pulled down. Don't let it squeeze up towards that ear. Halfway. Two more. And let them relax. All right, we gotta do the same thing on the other side. Now I can tell the way my arms are feeling. Let's go and get started. You can tell that I'm getting really, really shaky, even with a really light amount of weight. My muscles are burning like crazy, which means 2 things. Number 1, I'm slightly hypoxic, which means I don't have enough oxygen in my system, and my body's demanding so much oxygen right now, even though I'm doing something really slow, that I get a lactic acid burn really quickly. The other side of that is that burn's showing up really, really quickly, and my energy levels are so low because I don't have any carbohydrate left in my system, which means I am using nothing but fat content now to keep my body moving, which is really good if you're trying to lose weight. So a couple more. Last one. Oh man, that burns. All right, I'm putting the slugs back in for my curls. Get those guys back. Can grab that other weight. And let's get this next round of these curls started. Nice flat back. Again, keep that elbow underneath that shoulder. Curl it up nice and tight. Squeeze, but don't bring that elbow forward. Back down. Most people who do curls is a very common exercise for a lot of people. It's a really basic one. Most people know how to do it, or at least they think they do. The biggest problem that most people have when they're doing their curls is they let that elbow start to drift forward. As soon as that elbow drifts forward, you're not using your bicep anymore, and that's what this exercise is for that bicep. So really watch that elbow. Keep it back underneath that shoulder, and you will isolate and work that bicep through the entire range of motion. Let that elbow kick forward, you're cheating. You're not actually going to get that full range of motion. Almost done. Just 2 more to go. Last one. Whew. Drop back down. Actually, I'll keep this one. Same thing again. Dropping these slugs out for the tricep extension. This is our last round of these. I'm trying to get through all these repetitions. All right, nice big deep breath in. Start into that last set. Up. And started. Halfway. Keep that form clean, keep that shoulder down, keep that back flat. Two more. Last one. All right. Same thing over on the other side. I don't know about you, but my muscles are starting to feel really, really stiff and swollen from doing this, which means you're working yourself hard enough. Just keep pushing through it. Almost done. Halfway. Two more. Last one. Oh, man. All right, let those arms relax for just a second. Put those slugs back in. Bicep curl. It's our last round of the strength routine. Palms facing forward. And nice and slow, squeeze it up. Elbow underneath that shoulder. Keep those shoulders pinned down, elbows pulled back. That's 8, 2 more to go. Last one. And nice and slow down. Whew. Drop those weights. Let it relax. And that is the end of the strength portion of this. We still have another cardio portion to go, and that's coming up next. But before we get there, take a little bit of a water break. Rest, pause a little longer if you need to for that rest. We'll be right back to starting that cardio in just a second. All right, guys, this is our last section before our cool down, and we are doing a little bit of a cardio run through. Doing 60 seconds per exercise with no break in between. We're just going to be moving from one right into the next. These aren't really ridiculously hard cardio exercises. They're all meant to be just kind of like medium, so don't kill yourself with it. You're just trying to go through the motions to burn a few extra calories. We should be in your fat burning zone by this point, so even doing something really hard is not going to last for very long. So just take your time, watch your form, and push through it. All right, so let me get my timer started here. We're starting off with just a traditional boxer shuffle to kind of warm ourselves back into it after doing that strength routine. So just get those feet moving back and forth. Like I said, 60 seconds of each one of these. Stay up on those toes. Make sure you're moving relatively quick. Again, this is a medium intensity cardio. We're not trying to kill ourselves like you would with like a HIIT routine. Just keep those feet moving. Keep those lungs open. You should actually be feeling those arms start to limber up a little bit again after doing that strength routine. If you did that strength routine right, your chest, your upper back, your shoulders, your biceps and triceps should feel enormous and really stiff, and they actually should be starting to drain back out and feeling a little bit better while we're doing this. Just keep those feet moving. We've got jumping jacks coming up next in about 15 seconds or so. So just keep those feet moving. All right, 5 seconds to jumping jacks. And start them. Keep those arms and legs nice and rigid. I know this is going to feel really funny after doing that upper body routine. Those arms are not going to feel like they want to do this range of motion, but just keep pushing through it. Start trying to increase that range of motion just a little bit, time after time. Again, keep those lungs open, breathing normally. I got about 20 seconds left for this one, and we're moving on to an alternating lunge. Ten seconds left. And let that relax. All right, alternating lunge next. Let's jump right into it again. Try to keep that weight evenly dispersed between that front and rear leg. Again, this isn't supposed to be really, really high cardio. You should be feeling a little bit out of breath. You should be feeling a fair amount of lactic acid burn building up just because you're so tired from the rest of the stuff we're doing today. But you shouldn't be killing yourself. It should be relatively manageable. About 20 seconds left. We're doing a push-up knee up next. So if that chest is just toast, you can always cut the push-up out of it or do a half push-up off of those knees, which is probably what I'm going to be doing. And down on the ground for that push-up. Hands out nice and wide. So push-up. Oh man. Knee up out to the side, push up, knee up out to the other side. Man, I'm already gonna have to drop down. My chest is just toast. There is nothing left. Like I said, even if you can't do a half push-up, you can cut that push-up out and just pull that knee up and out to the side. About 20 seconds left. Got a back bow jack coming up next. Flat down on your stomach. Arms out nice and straight. Lift everything up nice and high. And back to your sides and back out, just like a jumping jack motion. Try to keep everything hovering as best you can. If you need to, you can drop down with those hands and feet touch the ground in between each motion. All right, stand it up. We're doing a flutter kick squat. So those feet are kicking back and forth. 1, 2, 3, squat. 1, 2, 3, squat. Just alternating back and forth. Make sure you start with a different foot you did the time before. About 20 seconds left. Got side lunges next. Just under 10 seconds. All right, let it relax, back up to the center. Step off to one side, down, back up to the center, step off the other side, down and up. Nice long step. The longer you go, the harder it's going to be. Nice flat back. Under 20 seconds left. We've got a prone plank leg raise coming up next. So plank facing up rather than down. And drop it. So legs extended out straight, hands underneath you, those elbows back behind you. Get those hips up. Lift one leg at a time. Like I said, it is not to kill you. It's just to wear you out just a little bit more. Burn off just a few more calories. Try to keep those hips up. Just keep it going. Just under 20 seconds left. Got a plank to side star next. We're gonna be alternating back and forth, left to right. Oh man. Just keep it going. Oh, and relax. So we're doing a plank, so off those elbows and knees, or elbows and toes. You're gonna rock to the side, side star, back down, rock over the other side, side star, rock back. Just keep alternating back and forth. We stand up for our next one. Stand up, we're doing single leg butt kickers. So those heels coming up to that butt. Just keep it going. I was going to go through just 10 exercises, but I think I'm going to add in a few just to torture you a little bit more. So I'm going to start my time over here in just a second. I'm going to go into a sumo squat with a leg kick next. We got about 30 seconds till we get there though. Just keep those feet moving, get those heels up nice and high. This isn't just a jog in place. You're really trying to get that heel up to that butt. Use that hamstring. All right, we're moving in to that sumo squat with that leg kick. So squat down with that sumo squat, leg comes up and around. Squat, up and around. Those legs are tired. They feel like lead weights. But keep pushing through it. Keep burning those calories. Like I said, you should be into that fat burning zone by now. So everything you do from this point on should be burning off those fat stores. Got about 10 seconds left. I'm going to kick this mat out of the way. We're going to do some lateral jumps. So lateral jumps are next. Off to the side, back over the other side. And you'll let your help, let that rear foot touch down for extra balance. But try to keep it going. Whew, try to stay nice and low. You can tell I'm tired. Starting to cheat on that form quite a bit. Like I said, this is a moderate one. You don't have to kill yourself. Just keep moving. We have one exercise left. And then we're going to go into our cool down. And agility dots are next. So imagine a square on the ground. Making a nice little X pattern across that square. This one takes a little bit of brain power at first. It feels like it takes a lot more brain power when you're tired. We're going to switch directions here. And switch. So it's doing that same pattern, just in reverse. So the last exercise, keep it moving. 10 seconds left. And back into that boxer shuffle. Let it drop down nice and slow. We're going into the stretches next. Keep those lungs open. All right. The first one is just be a regular straight leg hang, toe touch. Holding this for 30 seconds. And go ahead and start it up. Feet together. Drop it down. Hold it. Kind of rock those knees back and forth to help get a little extra stretch. Down as low as you can go with a straight leg. And back up. Feet nice and wide. Do an inside thigh stretch. So bend one knee off to the side. Lean back towards that straight leg. Hand over top of your head to get a little extra torso stretch. Should feel this on the inside of your thigh as well as across that torso. And switch sides. Other knee drops. Sorry, other side. Back towards that straight leg. Leaning the opposite direction. Keep those lungs open. Back up. You do a quad stretch. If you need something to lean against, find something. Otherwise, just standing up straight and tall, keeping that balance. Squeeze that heel to your butt as close as it's comfortable. Push that knee back behind you. Chest straight up and down. Should feel a stretch in your hip flexor. Specifically your quadricep though. Just pull that knee back and you should feel it. Keep those lungs open. Slow that heart rate drop. Switch sides. Heel to that butt. Pull that knee back. Ooh, if I can keep my balance here. Chest straight up and down. Let it relax. We're going to do a chest stretch. So hand on a wall or piece of furniture, door frame. Stretch that arm or that chest away from that arm as far as you can go, as far as it's comfortable. The further you push away from that hand, the more you should feel it in that forearm. If you want to feel less in your forearm, walk across that arm a little bit more. You should feel it more in your chest. If you're feeling your bicep, make sure you rotate your hand or your arm so that inside that shoulder or inside that elbow is facing up. All right, same thing on the other side. Hand, rotate. Just got a couple more stretches to go through. And let that one relax. Hand up over top of your head. Hand back to the same arm as shoulder. Grab that elbow with the other hand, pull across. Stretch it right there. If you want to, lean away, get a little extra stretch for that torso. Same thing the other side. Just gonna switch sides. We're gonna hand up to that shoulder. Grab that elbow, pull across, lean away. Almost done. Just a few more seconds. And let it relax. All right, guys, that was our last stretch, which means this 1,000 calorie workout is complete. There's nothing more to do, so this workout is complete. Good job, guys. See you next time.